Electrocast.
Last week on Ghost Hampton, Frank tells Georgie Lyle will be back on TV from the motel, and Mateo dodged Silk in a car. Silk's segment starts with a video salute to Flo and a promise of fresh old Vic footage. She asks Lyle about old Glenn dying on his porch and Flo's last moments. Berto emerges to face Georgie. He has a secret, crazy new plan. Take all the cash and run.
Interior, Lyle's motel room, 1 hour after TV interview. After about an hour's snooze, the left side of his face on the grubby rug, Lyle opens his right eye. The idiot next door, who Lyle suspects of selling meth, must be out. His AC/DC music has stopped blasting. Lyle tries to wiggle his toes. They do seem to wiggle, but he has almost no feeling. He does have feeling in his head, like two cinder blocks crushing each other. Through a boozy haze, he sees his room's dresser, the jabbering TV showing News 12, and the bottle of destructive element, Scotch. On the floor across from him stands the bag hiding his almost never-fired pistol. Lyle rolls onto his back. Time to plan. But he cannot plan. He's become a reactive flight or fight creature. He studies the random stains on the ceiling, but they offer no answers. Then he's overcome with remorse. How he's treated Georgie over the years, and the blameless Belinda, even his second wife Dar, and how at the start of their ill-conceived marriage, she shortened her name from Darryl to avoid being confused with the Hall and Oates guy, and all the people in the hamlet of Bridgehampton who he had offended over the years. Like those he'd pressured into selling their homes and farms. Were they happier today? And Jimmy Cronk, good Elsie Cronk's good son, who is now suing him for a small fortune, and Noah Craig and Becky Thatcher, and the Hardy family with their old man's bar. Even that vexatious Mose Allen. Lyle could have treated them all better. Then there are the little children of Bridgehampton. Will they, and future generations of innocents long after Lyle Hall is gone, become fodder for a demon lurking in the old barn all these years? A barn being preserved by an organization that's blissfully unaware of the trap set by a voracious devil. Mateo gone now, only Lyle knows the evil entity's seductive power and how badly it needs to hurt people and drag them down to its depths. That awful woman Aiko was right. There was an implicit offer from the entity when Lyle first met Jewel. It dangled seemingly innocent Jewel in front of him as a lure. It suggested full strength would return to his legs. Now, serving up regular crops of small children to that thing is a big win. The big guy downstairs must be pleased. Lyle drags himself up and sits down hard on his one chair facing the dresser. He silences the TV, leaving it playing, and reaches for his bottle of scotch. As he cracks open the cap, Lyle sees a nightmare version of himself in the dresser mirror. His hair is wild, like that guy in Eraserhead. The left side of his face is imprinted with the geometric pattern of the rug. His cheek and temple show detritus from the never-vacuumed rug, his hair too. Granules of corn chips, some cockroach body parts. His phone rings. That ring reminds Lyle of the people he needs to call. Special people. But this caller is his ball-busting ex-partner, Fraser.
Fraser.
Lyle Hall, you're a star, a supernova. You've touched a nerve and connected with a long-ignored subset of humanity.
Who?
People who wish characters like Morticia and Elvira would get cursed at on national TV.
Glad I pleased someone.
That's them. And a whole new population that's learned to hate you.
Who?
Normal Americans.
Understandable.
So, Josie says you're not responding to phone messages?
Sounds accurate.
Maybe you can make an exception.
I'm going to start doing the right thing soon.
still be waiting with bated breath.
There's an awkward silence. Lyle pours some scotch into his plastic motel room cup, and Fraser can hear it.
Okay, Fraser. Well, I gotta go.
I can imagine. Offers coming over the phone. Your public awaits.
Yeah. Tell Josie I'm sorry I've been unresponsive. See ya.
Lyle disconnects. On his end, Fraser looks at his phone, puzzled. He dialed Lyle, but that was so not Lyle. Lyle uses his fresh-poured scotch to focus the mind. Who's he going to call? Georgie? Definitely Georgie. And this is the midnight when it becomes the day that Georgie might die. Lyle takes a swig and dials. No answer as expected, and her mailbox is full, just like his. Lyle decides to call Big Frank. Lyle doesn't know Frank has already seen a video supercut of his televised meltdown. It's all over the internet.
Mr. Hall.
Frank, I've been calling Georgie. She's not picking up.
She's a little busy at work.
And her mailbox is full. I can't leave a message.
There's a pause.
Want me to convey a message when I see her?
Yes, I do. Tell her I love her more than she'll ever know.
Okay. Anything else?
Now Lyle pauses a long time, weighing if he should say this, especially to this big cop. But what if he's the best person to tell? Lyle decides to spill it.
Frank, I think Georgie may get killed. Tonight.
Why think that?
I get premonitions. Seriously.
The two men remain silent briefly. Lyle fights back a wave of emotion by swigging some scotch. Frank can tell over the phone.
Well, I try to keep things professional, but I'll talk to her. Tell her you're upset. And why.
Okay. But how can you force a cop to be careful?
Strong language, maybe.
I'm just asking you, begging that you have a serious talk with her about any danger or threat she may be facing.
I will, Lyle. I will.
To Frank, Lyle seems to be growing both calmer and more agitated at the same time.
Okay, then. Thank you, Frank.
No problem.
They disconnect. Lyle feels a bit relieved that Frank is on his side, but is disturbed on another level that Frank made no effort to refute Lyle's claim of Georgie's imminent death. Who else hates me? Lyle thinks. Weirdly, he finds Silk invading his mind, the very person who made all this media crap happen, the person who made him imagine a reality where his legs were strong, he'd overcome his injuries, and he traveled the world with Silk. A fabulous international couple sighted at all the best places. Lyle looks at her recent calls to his phone and drains his plastic cup. He pours more scotch. He's allowed to return a call from her. After his scotch and curse-fueled rage on camera, he actually needs to call Silk. She may be expecting his call. She may love heartfelt apologies. What if she runs right over to his awful room, full of remorse over how she's abused him? What if Silk throws him down on his messy bed and cures Lyle of all that ails him once and for all? Lyle punches a number on his phone. As it starts to ring, he takes a swig and looks up and sees himself in the mirror. The disheveled, drunk, unlovable nightmare version of himself. The voice answering the phone is deep, husky, as if just awakened from deep, cozy sleep, too sleepy to be irate.
Hello?
Silk, it's me, Lyle. Don't hang up.
I'm hanging up.
No, let me apologize. Hear me out, Silk, please. I have so many feelings right now, I can't...
Can't call this number again. I'm blocking you.
Silk, you don't know what's happening. So many bad, terrible things.
You've done enough terrible things to my career.
Now Lyle, who paused for another swig, hears movement on Silk's end, rustling sheets, and another voice.
Is that the cripple? Hang up, Silk.
The line goes dead. Lyle feels a wave of shock and nausea ripple through his stomach. How wrong he was about everything. What a fool he's been. An old fool at that. Of course, that wise ass was Silk's boy toy all along. Lyle no longer knows who his friends are. Georgie, his only close family member, has disowned him. Matteo, gone. Noah, in cahoots with Becky Tuttle. The only person who wants to talk to him is Mose Allen. There is one call he could place to make amends.
Fred, it's Lyle Hall. Sorry to bother you at this hour.
Yeah, well, I thought my services were no longer needed, am I right?
Right. No, not right. I was just in a weird place, and I had a contractual obligation.
Oh. Okay. Well, thanks for calling. I have an early fare in the morning.
Wait, don't hang up, Fred. I want to make it up to you. I know when I took the other ride, it messed up your day. I want to pay you for that, with interest.
2 days worth of interest?
Let's say 100 for the fare you missed, and 100 as make good.
I'm listening.
Okay, just one more thing. I need a lift tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah. And I need my wheelchair again. Sad to say.
Do you have yours?
I don't know. I mean,
Lyle truly doesn't know where his wheelchair is now.
Could you pick up another one from your place of business? Just for tonight. I'll pay you hazardous duty.
Fred can tell Lyle is drunk. He's heard many a drunken fare over the phone. But he's never heard Lyle Hall this drunk.
Couldn't let myself into the office. It's closed at this hour.
Great. How about 100 more for a bonus?
Well, where to, Mr. Hall?
It's just Lyle, Fred. Lyle is fine.
Where?
Lyle takes a breath.
Old Vic. For old time's sake?
There's a pause on Fred's end as he weighs the idea.
Why?
Just, to say goodbye.
East End limo service, 1 hour later. A few hours have passed since Berto Peña's last contact with Detective Georgie Hall. She's still behind the wheel of her unmarked car, her face caught in the blue glow of her iPad. Berto has been busy. He packed up the company cash into a large duffel bag. He called Chantal. No answer. She did go out to party with friends, but Berto left a vague message meant to prepare her for his bold new plan. Simply stated, that plan would be, take the money and run. Mundo and Ruben, known to the cops as Mr. Clean and Trini Lopez, would be back from their Manhattan run shortly. Berto would give them their cash bonuses without revealing that was really their severance pay. Chantal will, of course, need to pack a bag with Berto's best clothes and a bag of her own. Then off to Newark International. Why New Jersey? To better obscure Chantal's sports car from which Berto would remove the plates. The loss of her beloved Beamer is a small sacrifice compared with her gain. Berto all hers for all time. While Chantal packs their belongings, Berto has another chore to attend to. Leave behind a lasting message of how truly tough he was before Chantal spirited him away. The limo company's garage bays share a wall with the office. Berto has been moving freely between his office and the adjacent bay with a blinking fluorescent light overhead. As the night has worn on, Berto has been cooling the fire in his brain with tequila. Often he'd peek out from the garage bay doorway at Georgie's car. He had promised Georgie a bottle of water hours ago. Interior, Georgie's parked car, continuous. Georgie's on the phone with Big Frank.
He keeps peeking out at me from the empty garage bay.
Did he get you a bottle of water?
No. He did get real jittery, though. Something's up.
Up his nose. I want to call in a favor. Get some backup.
I don't know. It could look bad if I can't handle this kid myself.
Kids do the darndest things. Let me know if anything changes.
Georgie pauses awkwardly.
Frank, see any TV tonight?
Nah. Busy. But I did find coverage of your former father's appearance on the internet.
Where?
Everywhere. Georgie,
stay away from all that stuff for now. You don't need the distraction.
Georgie does not respond.
So, you contacted Internal Affairs?
I did. I told Quealy I would if the harassment kept up. Next, I go out to my car and there's another condom ghost. They said they'd look into it. Sounded like they'd be in no big hurry. Why do you bring that up?
Well, I stopped by the precinct house and, surprise, they're here.
Really? At night? Doing what?
Took fresh prints from your locker. Opened Swanson's locker for a look-see.
No shit.
Nope. They're actually chatting with our future retiree now. One reason why I would like to call in reinforcements for you. Swanson's otherwise engaged.
Amazing.
Amazing what a little national television exposure can do. My theory, orders came from over Quealy's head.
Let me know what happens?
Can't. I've got duty at Old Vic, but we'll know something soon. Big thing now is your safety. The wheels are off the bus at HQ, and I want to make sure you have backup.
Okay, Frank. I'll let you know as soon as anything changes.
I predict it will.
Right. Okay. Thanks. Appreciate it.
No problem.
They disconnect. Georgie immediately Googles Lyle Hall, and media coverage of his second TV interview opens up for her in all its grotesque detail. Expletives deleted. Her jaw drops and her stomach turns, but at least it doesn't come as a surprise. Now there's movement again in the garage bay. Berto Pena waving something. Interior Lyle's motel room continuous. Sitting in his one chair in his room, Lyle waits for Fred. He faces the TV playing News 12 silently on his dresser. It has all kinds of coverage, all Old Vic, all the time. Sometimes Lyle sees images of himself flash by, always made to look like a damned fool. He toasts himself and anybody else he recognizes, including Becky Tuttle and even Mose Allen, with a swig directly from his bottle. No more plastic cup. Each time he swigs, he sees himself in the dresser mirror, and his heart fills with self-loathing. He's a mess. An unlovable mess of a man. Half a man, according to that awful woman on Silk's awful show. But Fred is on his way, and Fred will help Lyle implement his plan. Yes, a drunk man with a sober mind has formulated a plan to bring all this to an end. All of it. Then the door next door slams. The AC/DC guy's back from one of his meth sales. Lyle didn't even hear his motorcycle pull up. Within seconds, Highway to Hell explodes through their shed wall. Thanks to the wisdom of Scotch, Lyle has an answer to this problem too. He fishes his pistol out of his bag. In no mood to stand on his rubbery legs and hammer on their wall, and unable to knock out a message on the dresser mirror, Lyle forms a new plan. He examines his pistol. The 6-hour P226 9mm Legion series is good for home defense, the reason Lyle bought it years ago. Georgie's mom Belinda was alive and healthy. Everyone was getting something to defend the home and family with, like today. Lyle had fired it a few times, but put it away in the nightstand where it stayed until now. It is loaded. Lyle recalled the simple firing procedure. Meth guy then turns up Highway to Hell even louder. Lyle takes the pistol in both hands. Anchoring it to his abdomen, he points the muzzle at the drop ceiling above. It explodes like a cannon in his small space, and some ceiling tile fragments flutter down. There's blue smoke. And there's some magic. AC/DC stops. Lyle is some kind of a genius problem solver. Without the rock music, Lyle can hear Meth Guy through the wall. He's on his phone.
Shit, man! Fucking guy next door is fucking crazy! He fired a gun in his room. Believe that shit?
Someone speaks on the other end.
No, I don't know if he shot himself. I could give a shit.
Then his neighbor's door slams, and Lyle hears Meth Guy's motorcycle start up. It roars off, leaving silence behind. Lyle sits with his gun and his scotch. Could give a shit, huh?
Electricast.